Yes, yes, sir.
Where'd you make both at?
Where I live down in Southern Maryland. That was primarily, then my hometown, Norfolk, had a couple scenes, the Chinese food scene, and then the scene where, every scene where he was in Eric's house was in Norfolk, my hometown. But where I lived for the past 15 years, everything else was in Maryland. So the Heaven scene was in Maryland. That's actually one of my coworkers' family's farms, been in his family for over 150 years. And I actually went there to help him move some furniture, and I was like, I'm gonna film here. Like, you know, I was working on the script when I saw it. I was like, this is gonna be heaven. This is gonna be heaven. And he was like, what? I was like, don't worry about it. It'll make sense later. The platform for that, one of my coworkers, her son won a carpentry competition in high school. He's an 11th grader, and he built that whole thing. As the 11th grader built it. Yep. There's so many stories I could tell about behind the scenes making it, but it's a lot of fun.
What
Yes.
inspired the X-Lax scene?
You know something that's funny? I didn't even know what X-Lax was until 2 years ago. I learned about X-Lax and I thought it was hilarious. And then I was like, I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna put that in a movie somehow or another. And I found out about X-Lax through one of my uncles, and because I saw it in his house, I was like, what is this? I was like, and he's like, don't eat that, don't eat that. And I was like, yeah.
And have you traveled, like, how far have you traveled with this movie to show it to different people?
So we traveled Maryland, Philly, New York, Staten Island, and then now we're here in Michigan. Tomorrow we're in Des Moines, Iowa. We were supposed to do Dallas last weekend, but they had the snowstorm come through. So we canceled. They got 8 inches of snow, and it's a good thing we did because it was pretty bad. But we will be doing a reschedule there. And then after this weekend, we're going down to, where are we going next? Florida, New Orleans. And then Tallahassee, Jacksonville, New Orleans, then Chicago, Yellow Springs, Ohio, Kansas City, St. Louis, my hometown, Norfolk is the last one, Charlotte, North Carolina. Yes, yep. 16 cities, yes.
And then, are you going to make more movies?
Absolutely, yes. I have a action comedy that I've written now that I'm tightening up right now, I'm editing right now, and I'm really excited to shoot that. I was just telling him I took advantage of the Black Friday sales and I bought a lot of extra tools and stuff we needed to do more motion shots for the action scenes. Yep, so I'm really excited to shoot this one. It's really funny and it has a good message too, but this one is like, oh, I can't wait. I've never shot an action film, so I've been watching YouTube videos like how to shoot like fight scenes, and you know, actually I met a guy when we filmed in Philadelphia. There was a guy who did choreography, and I'll probably be bringing him on set to do the choreography for the scenes, the fight scenes. So that's what he does professionally. So it was like we just linked up. He worked at the theater. He was like, I also do choreography on the side, so it was cool.
That's
Yeah.
great. And all the movies that you plan on in the future, will they be based on a theme of Jesus or believing in?
I want to. I really do. I really want to. It makes it hard because a lot of the Christian movies you see, I always say this sounds bad. I'm just gonna say it because I don't know whether to say it. But it's either they're in church, and I think a lot of times they get to be kind of redundant having that same location, and then they'll beat you down with the Bible. You know, like there's like a scripture in every scene or something, you know. And I don't want it to take away from you guys actually have an enjoyable movie, an enjoyable story, you know. But I will incorporate some form of Christianity in all my movies, yes. Yes.
The actors, were they just people you cast, or were they like your friends and people?
No, they were all professional actors. Some of them I worked in projects with before, and I knew, like the funny big guy in the, what was his character's name? What was Boogie's character's name? I forgot now. But the guy who was the cook, who was his buddy, he's been in all of my short films. Short films, feature film, he's been in everything. And he's really like helped me a lot with, because he's been on some bigger budget. He was in like Bad Boys 2 as an extra, and he's been on some big sets. He's always coming on set and giving me pointers and tips. He's kind of like a mentor in a way, sort of. But no, they're all professional actors. I had to do a casting, and I was actually casted this one myself. My regular casting director, Anya Boone, wasn't able to help me. She got casted in something herself during the time of casting, so I had to go and do it myself. It interesting, but I'm glad that I did because I was able to audition every actor, and I was able to make the selections that I wanted. I was very happy with the selections I made. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, they were a fun cast too. They came in, you know, they were professional. And then it's like you'd always see people's personality. Once I crack a joke on set, then it's like they kind of let their guards down a little bit. And they were really good people. That matters to me a lot. Because when you're on set for 15 days, you want to like the people. Trust me. I mean, 15 days is like if you don't like the person, it gets to be really like it gets hard. Yeah.
How was Eric?
How was he? His personality, like as a person? Yeah. He was very cool. Me and him became friends. Him and I became friends. Real, like he's so genuine. He's a really genuine person. Like I woke up and in the house we were staying at the Airbnb, he took out the trash. He had done the dishes. He had wiped down the counters and everything. And I'm seeing all this stuff done, and I'm thinking like, you know, everybody's chipping in and doing stuff and whatnot. Everybody else was asleep. He woke up early and did all of those things. As the star of the movie, he did all of those things. Such a humble, genuine person. I mean, I'm gonna say out of all the films I've ever made, all the actors I've ever worked with, I will also say he is the hardest worker of any actor I've ever seen. His approach to acting is something that is like, it's something to be in awe of. Every scene that you see him do, he'll go in a corner and he'll rehearse it to himself before anything's ever shot. He knows everybody else's lines along with his lines. He knows gestures. He knows where the character's coming from. The scene, but like, I mean, it's so much. I'm not gonna get to all the details that actors do, but he really studies and breaks down, and he asks like deep character questions, which I love as the director and the writer. I love him asking those type of questions, and because he just wants to enhance his character and do little stuff to add to the moment in the movie. And his approach to it is so detail oriented. I gained a ton of respect. He blew everybody else. The audition, there was one other guy who did a pretty decent audition, but the other four guys, their auditions weren't that well. It really jumped off the screen, and he followed through with it at the table read, and even as you saw on screen. His personality as a person, he's a really, really good person, and really good guy. Family man too. He's married with 2 kids. Yep. Any other questions?